Welcome back for another video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let's jump into it. In this video, we're just going to backtest the NASDAQ for the previous trading week of March 24th through March 28th. And this is just part of a weekly process I do to prepare to trade the NASDAQ for the upcoming week, and so that I can call up my trades successfully in the Market Mentors Discord, where I call up my trades in live time and show my winning trades and analysis. So be sure to check out the link in the description for that, and we'll see you guys there. And just jumping back into it, we're just going to backtest the previous week. I've already backtested it, but I just want to go over and explain my logic behind all my trades and just try to get a comparison with what I actually traded in the actual live time last week. So looking at this, it's already marked up. I'm just going to talk to the reasoning behind it. And you'll see extra positions like this because I've also marked up London session trades that I didn't actually take last week. But I'm thinking about trading London session this upcoming week a little bit, and it looks like it's going to be some decent results. So looking at it, going back to Monday, this is the 24th, and we're seeing, okay, this is the first opportunity I had. Actually, there was no trades on Monday, but this London session trade, excuse me. So there's no trades in real time, and actual time Monday, I was on the go and I actually took a buy during Asian session, which I shouldn't have took. I tried to force it. It was a 30-minute setup or a 30-minute imbalance here in this area that I tried to force, and it just didn't go through. So I'm really just want to try to stick to the 15-minute time frame for my points or areas of interest, I should say, and just trade from those because it seems to just be very clean and works really good for me. So I'm just going to stick to the 15-minute time frame, and we see our first trade for the week was Tuesday, and it's based off of these criteria and steps right here, how I look for my areas of interest and how I do my trading almost, except for the entry, but we'll go over the entry too. So just looking at it, got a sweep liquidity here. Look, we see the step one. Step two, I was looking for this break of a swing point that formed this or caused liquidity sweep. So got step two. And three, I want to see the mitigation of this, and this imbalance is left behind after breaking this swing point. Seeing it right there. And then on four, looking at for the AMD model on the 1 minute. And if you need help of these concepts, I should say, check out the Market Mentors Discord. We teach this stuff every single day. And then here we see the AMD model. Last accumulation breaks to the downside, breaks to the upside, leaves this imbalance right here. Entry was right here. I don't know why it changed, but entry's right here. I'm probably going for like this take profit here around that swing high, but yeah, entry's right there. Really quick trade, and that was the first win of the week, at least with how I'm back to see now with a fresh pair of eyes. And yeah, I back to these previous 2 weeks, and it's been not that many trades. I didn't have that many trades in live time last week either, which is a little strange, but it's like I prefer to take around 10 to 12, 10 or 8 to 10 trades, 8 to 10 to 12 trades. I think that's better for me. So looking at that, I would have been one win right there. Then going on to Wednesday, I don't think there's any Asian session trades, anything on Tuesday. Actually, it might have been just one. Yeah, it was just one late in Tuesday. So let's go into that. Let's see what happens. So yeah, another area of interest formed. See this sweep of liquidity, and it breaks to the upside of that swing point that formed that liquidity sweep. Leaves us imbalance here, and then it returns back to it perfectly. Gives us a buy move, and then you see this accumulation. It's a little of, I don't want to say micro or minor, but it's on the inside of a larger range. So you see this accumulation, these few candles, it breaks to the downside, breaks to the upside. Leaves some imbalance when it actually breaks, so up here. Then we enter in, and it hit take profit. So valid win there. So it would have been 2 of 2 on Tuesday, excuse me. And then Wednesday, going to the next day. And there's a lot of stuff that happened in that London session, a lot of moves. It could have been 3 or 4 trades that London session. So yeah, I'm not even count those as any of wins or losses just because I'm just testing it just to test it. But for the actual sake of trying to compare what I actually did do last week and what I could have done, that's what I'm trying to do now. So separating those out, just trading Asian session and New York session for this video's sake at least. So this was right here pre-New York trade that I would have taken. So based on the previous criteria, so swept this liquidity here, broke this swing low, let this imbalance, and then it gave a move during London session, but it also came back to that imbalance and filled a little bit more of it. So with this, it is a little tricky. I think I'm going to consider it valid whenever a price wants to leave an area or like it gives a move, then it wants to come back to it and then give another move. I think I'm going to count that as a valid move. I will say it takes away the part of the mitigation for the imbalance. That's not really the reasoning or logic behind it. But what I could say is, okay, even though it reacted to this area once already, it decided to push back to this area again, probably either to, one, mitigate an order block, that higher order block, which this one was already mitigated here. This order block here is already mitigated. So probably wanted to mitigate a higher order block, or probably wants to sweep some liquidity. And in this case, it swept this liquidity that the move had already gave. So it swept this swing point right here, and then it starts to give you another move, and it gives you a sell move right here. So I'm thinking I want to count that as a valid reasoning to say to take multiple trades in one area if it already leaves the area, basically. Because even though it's gonna, sometimes it'll cause a loss, as you'll see later on in the week, I think on Thursday for the next day, but sometimes it can cause a good win like this, because you see it comes back to the area, gives this move right here, a lot of accumulation, breaks the downside with this big push, entering right there, and you can just kind of let it flow. And then there was also news, which I would have been skeptical to take this, but it literally formed right before news, and it hit take probably before news even dropped. So this is a solid trade to take, and then it kind of just, your analysis goes right with the news. It's just going to drop out the sky, basically. And you could have, who knows, held a runner or anything. Actually, it would have been tagged if you held a runner, but analysis was right. You probably could take some continuation sells down, and could have shorted it for the whole day probably. So yeah, it's one of those things I'm gonna count that as a valid trade, even though it came back to this area that's already mitigated. It's just simply came back to this area to sweep some liquidity and then gave you another move. So we'll see another setup of that on the next day and Thursday over here. So looking at Wednesday, the rest of the Wednesday really wasn't any moves for Wednesday. It was like some London session moves, but that's technically Thursday. So that was pretty much it for Wednesday. I don't think I did anything else that day as well. So Thursday was a busy day for me in person. Oh, and on Wednesday morning at actual time, I know I took some buys here based off of super liquidity here, and I counted this small little area as imbalance, and I don't think I should have. It's not really a real imbalance. I think it just shows a little fun in some of the brokers, but yeah, I think I was really forcing that when I was kind of unsure if I wanted to count this as a sell area because it already mitigated once. So looking back, I should have counted it as a sell area, but yeah, you just live and learn. I'm just comparing it and refining for the upcoming week.